Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Play the Hits. This is Lunar Silver Star Story Harmony, the Harmony of the Silver something. Nick, help me out here.
I heard Shrine of the Silver Monkey.
Shrine of the Silver Monkey. Can the kids make it all the way to the Silver Monkey?
From the Crypt of Despair, you'll enter the Shrine of the Silver Monkey.
So, Nick, if you haven't noticed, I did level us up just a teensy-weensy bit. So
Yeah, I noticed that you're at 7 and not 1, so
yeah.
Chris Beck keeps his word.
Yep. And I also went ahead and fixed the weird text glitch we were experiencing.
Really, quite interested how you did that mechanically.
It's, so like I said, it's no secret that we're playing this on an emulator. It was an issue with the PSP's native, like basically games on the PSP had this weird quirk where they would use the system's default font
dungeon.
Instead of actual gameplay font. So when you port it to Windows, that creates a problem because Windows font is not PSP font. So it's just a matter of switching it back.
That makes sense.
Also, we got dragons.
Oh, we're level 7. That shouldn't be an issue.
It's one of them friendly dragons.
Is it? Maybe it's one of those Skyrim dragons, you know.
Yeah. One of the ones that you only kill if you're feeling like a particular asshole.
My peaceful slumber.
Nick, who's slumbering
What's-
peacefully?
Oh no, it's Smaug.
It's octogenarian Smaug.
Smaug himself was octogenarian, wasn't he? He was old.
Dragons tend to run a little older, yeah. I think this one is old for a dragon.
What system was this again?
This cutscene was made for the PS1, but the original was the Sega CD.
Boy, it's like you knew where I was going to go with that.
Yeah. So what this game did is it borrowed all of the cutscenes from the PS1 version, which is why you get the 4:3 resolution.
So tell me, what business do
And the
you
kind of
have here
pixely
today,
eyebrows
this
there.
Ancient old dragon, my fine young adventurers.
This is the friendliest dragon.
Yeah. Till you
Usually
piss
they
him
just
off.
eat you by this point.
Nick, I think there's something wrong with his face. I don't want to insult him, because he's big. But
Oh, I'm going to have nightmares of that tonight. Don't worry.
he's kind of floating there, just disconcerted with what the rest of his body's doing.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
But you had to, get your sprites where you could.
Yeah. And, for portable games, I find that effect works fairly well, where they kind of do the layering effect over certain, large sprites or boss enemies, things like that.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't even necessarily notice this unless you started thinking about it.
Yeah, or unless, you blew it up to 1080p like we're doing. Lunar!
Oh god, he's got a face like the Toxic Avenger.
It's only age in isolation. Well, as long as you're willing to admit it, sir.
Speaking of the Toxic Avenger, isn't Peter Dinklage in talks to play the Toxic Avenger in the Toxic Avenger reboot?
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
there's a movie that never needed a reboot.
The Toxic
What
Avenger.
precisely? What is this load of nonsense?
You could find it within your gracious heart to spare us one of those legendary dragon diamonds. A dragon diamond? You humans are strange creatures. You know why that is, right?
Why humans are strange creatures? I've tried to figure that out all my life.
Why do you people seek refuge, or seek after these things with such fervor? Do you not know that they're nothing more than a piece of my shit?
Oh.
I love that line. Oh, what's the use? You meddling kids. Fine. You go on a fetch quest and I'll shit you out a diamond.
Rex told me that once.
And I shall give you the sure diamond. That's we talked a little bit about why I enjoy this game so much. So the translation from the Japanese was done in kind of a Ted Woosley-esque manner, where they didn't take things extremely literally. And so what you get are a lot of kind of dry jokes like that peppered throughout it. it's certainly an anime RPG, but it's not like, you know, stick up its own ass kind of anime RPG.
Mm-hmm.
You get some Westernisms that they function well in the grand scheme of things. And we're healed from that battle we didn't fight.
So we're talking like Final Fantasy VI level of translation here, then, huh?
No, I would say it's more polished, but it has that same thing where, you know, it doesn't strictly hold to the Japanese text.
Ah, okay. What do you want, Rex?
You know what I want. Now cook it.
I had to give all the dogs baths today. That was a nightmare, let me tell you.
I demand Taco Tuesday on Saturday. So, Nick, I might have asked you this already, but how's the new job going?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it.
That's quite a refreshing departure for you, as I understand.
It is my favorite job out of all of them that I've ever had. I never quite realized my calling was to be an HR officer.
Nice. There's something about telling a guy he doesn't have a job anymore that really tickles my fancy.
Really pickles my eggs. Whatever that means.
Dumbass.
No, it's great. I'm enjoying it. I get to do what I'm good at and get paid for it, and I get to watch YouTube videos most of the day while I work, and
I thought
nice.
I had seen a 1 count spike in Play the Hits views lately.
Every now and then I do queue up a few of those every now and then.
You know,
I've been marathoning Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stacks, though. So
nice.
Too.
Though, you know, Nick, I gotta say, not to, you know, pat ourselves on the back, but every once in a while we do get some pretty good comedy on this show. I will say, I will play it sometimes when I'm on the exercise bike, just to help pass the time, and I do get the occasional belly laugh out of our shtick.
Now and then we got a few nuggets.
Yeah,
you know.
And
Stop
we
clock
leveled
is
up
right
further.
twice a day.
Starlight, Starbright.
Well, how's your job going? Even though it's not a new job and you pretty much will have it the rest of your life.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not bad, but boy, is, you know, I'm ready for COVID to be over, if that's all right with everybody.
Oh yeah, I could definitely agree. Well, as soon as that's over, I can go visit Bloomington at some point.
Yeah, that's right.
I keep having these weird days where like I get a fever and then like a sinus infection, and then I'm wondering, oh, is it COVID this time? I don't know.
For a second there, because you started that sentence with "I've got to get down to Bloomington," your next line was "I got a fever," and I automatically assumed that the only cure for said fever was some hot pot.
Yes, precisely. The only thing that can cure me is hot pot and crab legs.
Yes, indeed. We can make that happen for sure. Let's see here. Yeah, no. So I think I've told you this before about my bizarrely fragile psyche, but I constantly suffer in my work from imposter syndrome. I keep worrying that people are going to wake up one day and realize, wow, why are we paying this 30-year-old chump to do anything when he does nothing? We should get rid of him immediately. And so I compensate for that by signing up to do anything and everything that's needed. And the downside of that is, between all of like the video editing and crap that I have going on a weekly basis right now, because we're still doing online services, the annual like district conference for Southern Indiana, which I am currently the secretary of, is coming up. So in addition to visit people who are literally visiting a few people who are literally on their deathbeds, setting up for some form of vacation Bible school, which may or may not even happen, and doing all of like the videos for the services and devotions and Bible studies, I now also have to assemble a whole registration packet for the Southern Conference, which isn't my skill, isn't really in my well, what's the word I'm looking for? Wing house, anyways. But here we are. So right now I feel like I'm up to my neck in it, but
a thing isn't your skill set until you've done it, and then it becomes your skill set.
yeah, 2 years in, and I don't feel like I'm any better at it. So we'll see.
But you do have more experience. See, I find that the way I cured my imposter syndrome was to do the least amount of work as possible, and
so
then
that no one's let down. Yeah.
So then I'm like, well, gee, if I'm slacking off this much, I must be important because I'm still here.
Right? Damn it.
You know what? No, that was I used to have the same thing for a while, but eventually I just kind of took on this nihilistic perspective of, well, if they don't like it, then they can fire me, and I'll go work somewhere else and do the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
you know, it's not bad. I don't know if I can get away with that though.
I don't get paid to worry. As a matter of fact, I don't get paid to do a lot of things, but I don't get paid to get emotionally invested in stuff anymore. That was how I started my career, and yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't get me anywhere.
Yeah, different
tax
career
program,
path, unfortunately, where they kind of expect the emotional investment, so. But no, like, so, I don't know. Like I said, the video editing I took on gladly because, you know, it was a chance to
You might as well, you already do it.
Yeah, right, I do it for free each week on Play the Hits anyways. Not that I could share that, but,
one of these days you'll mix up for videos.
yeah, right. I'm gonna post a Play the Hits on the church website. That will not be good.
No, it won't be bad. I mean, it's not like it's particularly offensive content. I mean, we're not talking like
hits have you been
YouTube.
watching? No, it's true.
I mean, it's not particularly chaste, but it's not particularly bad either.
Boy, Pastor sure drops a lot of F-bombs.
Yeah, and it's mostly you. So.
Yeah, right. Maybe we should
Maybe
call
that's
Nick.
where I'm not this seems like a horrible mechanic.
It's not the best. I'm gonna limit break these assholes.
So, if I may, how'd your father's surgery go?
It ended up fortunately not being a surgery. They were able to treat the wow, thank you, headset. They were able to treat the gallbladder issue with some antibiotics, and they're going to revisit it down the road.
Okay, all right. And I think gallbladder, they can just take it out your navel anyways.
Gallbladder's not a big issue. It's more just
recovering from another surgery.
Yeah, he's had so many other surgeries that.
Hey, that almost worked.
All right, now to get him to.
So many of these games get away with not telling you what their money is. Like, did you just pick up 500 S?
Yeah, 500 S's.
Huh.
I assume silver, but I don't know if they ever come out and say it.
Maybe, I don't know.
Hey, we got the dragon rain. Come on, let's go make that dragon shit us a diamond.
So basically, the quest was like, just go into my back room and get my ring because I'm too lazy.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I literally can't fit down the corridors anymore, so you kids are going to have to help me out. It turns out this thing's really priceless. A lot of ass.
This strikes me as a quest to get you out of the room so that something can happen.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly it.
Like this is the kind of quest you go on and then come back and then the quest giver has been murdered by the Imperial Army or something.
No, all he does is literally shit the diamond while we're gone. Like I said, this game starts off with a surprising lack of, you know, parents dying or villages burning or anything like that. It's just, let's go do some shit. So Alex's dream is to become the Dragon Master, which is kind of a stupid dream because, like, when he starts off on this quest, the world's in no real danger, so it doesn't exactly need a Dragon Master. He just kind of thinks it would be a fun job.
Well, yeah, peacetime Dragon Master, you don't have to do anything Dragon Mastery-esque.
Yeah, right.
Because the world doesn't need it.
I want to be peacetime Dragon Master. It's nothing but women and food.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, you know... It's like being a Capitol policeman the other 364 days of the year.
It's like being Chief Wiggum, you know? No one actually expects you to do any actual work, but you still get the admiration of the town.
You get wartime pay during peacetime. I mean, come on.
Right?
But then the problem is, war might be declared. So, you know.
Scruffy, what was that sound? War were declared. Still one of my favorite Futurama episodes.
It works on a lot of scales.
Wait a minute, we were the invaders?
And you had Henry Kissinger in there too, who is not dead as of yet.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Go figure.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's past due, but still alive.
He better be dead. No. We're sorry, Henry.
Like most monsters, he lives a long time. I actually quite admire and respect Henry Kissinger.
Yeah. Obtained the ring, have you? Here's a big steaming pile of my shit. Yeah, we did it. It smells ripe. This shall serve as but the first step to the beginning of the adventure, which would... It's literally just like, let's just send this 15-year-old out on an adventure because, 15's adventure in age.
Because why not? That's
Yeah.
the call to adventure age.
And then just like a world-ending quest just kind of falls into his lap halfway through. I criticize, but I love this game, but that literally is how it starts. Just go find some dragons, and then along the way it's like, oh, I better fucking find these dragons.
Not everything needs to be beautifully and well constructed. Sometimes you just need a simple, theme to hang the characters on.
Yeah. There's also like an inordinate amount of time between this dragon and the next dragon, but then after that they just kind of start falling into your lap. Like the bulk of the game is between now and dragon number 2, and then after that it really, yeah.
Oh, that's
takes
actually
off.
kind of funny.
All right, you. Out of my way.
What game had the best dragons?
Ooh, Chrono Cross.
Out of my frame of reference, unfortunately.
You really ought to play that one. That seems like it would be right up your alley as far as
I've got
really
a
niche
list.
game with just a treasure trove of joyous depth to uncover.
Lufia 2, Xenogears, and then maybe Chrono Cross. I was never like super hot on
Don't say it.
Chrono Trigger.
No!
So
My baby!
Yeah, and I mean that's cool. Like every now and then you run into a guy who just like, oh, lobster tail, I can't stand the taste of it.
Yeah, right.
Just like some weirdo opinion.
The next words out of Nick's mouth. By the way, Chris, your sons are some ugly motherfuckers. No, I do love me some Chrono Trigger, but no, I can respect that. I mean,
No, I get why people like it, and it's a solid game. It's just not for me. It's just one of those weird things. Like it just never clicked with me.
I fully recognize that most of what I enjoy about it is the nostalgia. It absolutely hit me like right in that adolescent phase where, for whatever reason, its world and the story and the kind of fun way that they married Final Fantasy and Dragon Ball, it all just kind of meshed
I
well
guess
with me.
your Chrono Trigger was my Final Fantasy 9 then.
Okay, yeah. Which is interesting because I think I actually played Chrono Trigger the year Final Fantasy 9 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Because in 1995 I didn't know it existed. And then when
I
I
had to
did
go.
learn that it existed, it was impossible to find. And then in 2000 I discovered the joys of emulation.
I had to go through so much trouble to get a PlayStation to play that game.
Oh yeah, that's right. And interestingly enough, they did release it on the PlayStation as part of the... was it Anthology or Chronicles?
Are you talking Final Fantasy 9 or 6?
Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger was released on the PlayStation as one of the Final Fantasy double
You are
packs.
correct.
I can't remember which one, though. There was Anthology and Chronicles.
I thought we were still talking... Okay, about 9. Okay, yes. Anthology was released with Chrono Trigger and I want to say 4.
Okay. It's interesting,
Because I
too,
played
the other
4
one's called
immediately, and then
Chronicles,
Chrono
which
Trigger.
you would think Chrono Trigger, right? But I always get
Yeah.
them mixed up.
Yeah, that was a weird thing that they were both kind of put in there, but whatever.
Where's my money? You son of a bitch, Ramus. Little asshole.
I always thought that the best dragons in a game were Final Fantasy VI.
Ooh, the 8 dragons? Yeah.
Yes, because when you encountered those, that was an event.
Alright, guess we didn't have to talk to our parents. We're just going straight on the adventure. I think, if I remember right, though, the forest is too foggy, and we can't pass. Oh, we've got to sell the dragon diamond. Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Now, how much does a dragon diamond sell for?
Way more than this guy has, which leads us to the next part of our quest.
That's actually quite funny.
How much will you give us for this dragon diamond? Holy shit, I can't buy that.
I can't fence this, it's hot.
Literally, it's steaming hot. And why does it smell like this? You shut up and buy it. Ooh, I'm sorry, does your dragon diamond smell offensive?
Somebody
Ruby or
guess
bust?
you don't actually ever get the money for this thing?
No, Ramus pretty much makes off with it, but what we do gain is friendship and adventure.
Ah.
Well, son of a bitch.
Oh, raid the pantry. Okay.
I thought it was weird that she would encourage me to raid those.
I had to use my context clues to figure out what was going on.
Well, what is it, Ramus? Spit it out. No one takes you seriously anyways. A man-to-man chat. Fuck that. And fuck you, Ramus.
We're about to spout some drastic alt-right anti-feminist.
Yeah, right. You know, if it weren't for that woman, we would have sold that diamond, and you know it.
I'm just saying she should be in the kitchen.
She completely undermined my sales pitch. Made me look foolish, Alex. Foolish. Sorry, I'm not up to making the trick. Alright. Yeah, as long as I get some of the money. So another fun fact about this game, which I believe I did cover in my original playthrough of the PS1 version, the character Alex, one of the things that's unique about the Dragon Masters is that they're kind of predestined, and they always have green eyes, and so Alex's character model obviously has like the bright green eyes. As much as enamored with this game as I was, whenever I get the opportunity to create a custom character as a result, it's always my nod to this game that I give them the green eyes.
Huh. And now I know some Chris Beck lore.
Yeah, it's just a little
Lore.
piece of trivia. So like basically anytime I have a Mamorpaga character or anything with a little bit of customization, like even my Commander Shepard looks pretty much just like the default one, except I dug in there to give him green eyes.
Huh. Interesting fact.
Yeah.
I could never be bothered to do anything beyond the default Shepherd. I don't know why.
Well, because default Shepard looks so much better than anything else in the character creation, for one thing.
Yeah, that's entirely true. Like, it just feels like the correct character.
Right, like you can either have, you know, the ruggedly handsome Shepard or just like generic NPC in Shepard's armor. It was the same thing for Hawk in Dragon Age 2, if I recall correctly. They spent a lot of money getting like the likeness of an actor to play Hawk. But if you wanted to, you could just go ahead and, you know, not admire their work.
Yeah, and Commander Shepard was based on, what, a Swedish?
Yeah,
catalog
Swedish
model
or Welsh
something?
or something like that. You're right.
It's
Oh,
still
man.
foggy, but
The
not
ghetto
the
woods.
Goto.
Oh,
Well,
Goto.
okay.
The ghetto.
Alright.
In the ghetto. You're such a pussy, Ramus. Wow, Null. Jesus.
How much longer till Ramus gets eaten by something and I don't have to deal with him anymore?
Oh, we've still got probably another 2 or 3 hours of Ramus, actually.
Oh, he's gonna make it through, huh? All right.
He's a solid first act party member.
Wait, now we got to go back here.
Yeah, like I said, it takes a little bit to get off, and then it torpedoes after that.
Getting your money out of the rental.
Yes. I just want to... I don't even need to heal. Why am I working so hard to do this? Should I talk to Ramus's dad? Hey, sir, you raised a coward.
Oh no.
I know, that's why I keep sending him off to die in the Dragon Cave with you.
There's that word lollygagging again.
Maybe Luna will know what to do. Nick, what is lollygagging?
I'm not entirely sure, but I'm thinking you need to go talk to the big pudgy barrel boxer again.
It's one of those things. Lollygagging is one of those words that the more you say it, the more obscene it starts to sound.
It never sounded as obscene to me until this moment.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh God, now.
Now Nick's got to find a new word for slacking off.
Now I just. Now it's ruined.
Which, incidentally, also starts to sound kind of obscene the more you say it.
You know, one of the last things I remember before I got rid of having cable was a Duncan's Heinz commercial doing an advertisement about cake. Something about the word moist.
Moist.
And it was like,
rolls
is
off
this
the
where
lips
we
there.
are as a society now? Like, Duncan Hines is making jokes about cake being moist? Like, is that where we are?
At the end of the commercial, a guy in a like very nice business suit looks you square in the eye. Duncan Hines, fuck our cake. What? No. Yeah, we were gonna leave you behind, lady. Sorry.
It was Alex's idea.
Yeah, right. I blame Alex.
Him and his alt-right philosophy.
Yeah, right. Oh man. Nick, what's your favorite television commercial ever aired?
I think when we ask the other person a question, the asker should be obligated to answer it first.
Since I clearly have something in mind that I wanted to say because of this question, right?
Because the other person needs time to think. Anyways.
So what reminded me of this was there was an old I think it was either Subaru or Saturn, but the commercial was there's a shopping cart in a parking lot, and it's rolling very quickly towards this guy's car, right? And you start off thinking, oh, it's going to be about how durable the car is or something like that. But no, right as it's about to hit his car, he dives in and like tackles the shopping cart, and he must have broken like 3 ribs and everything.
I remember this.
And then you just hear him whisper off camera, "I'm okay." And it's like, I think it was that love. It's what makes a Subaru, right? Because you wouldn't do that for any other car.
Right.
But just, it was a great piece of physical comedy, because I don't know how they filmed it, because this would have like actually seriously wounded a regular human. But it was
This
it looked well choreographed.
back in the age before they just would have CGI'd everything.
Yeah,
So you had to
they
do, like, some
couldn't
sort
have.
of
It was like the
practical
mid
effects?
'90s, I think. So it was a little early, and you know, it was just one of those things. It was about a 10-second long commercial, but it was so effective to the point that I remember it to this day. I also enjoyed the da 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 commercial. I think it was for car insurance or something like that. It's just the
sounds
song
vaguely
was
familiar.
catchy.
Yeah, I seem to recall it being a bit of an earworm.
Yeah, it's just 2 guys driving in their car, and it's da da da, boom 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 boom, da da da.
I think my favorite commercial was probably any of the J.G. Wentworth commercials.
Oh, okay.
That was also quite catchy. Nothing particularly clever, just it's a good earworm.
Yeah.
And everybody seems to know it. You wouldn't expect anyone else to remember this stupid commercial, but everyone else can sing along if you get them started.
I guess we actually have to sleep before we go.
Boy, there's a lot of things you got to check off your list before you can play the game.
You know, this really is... I shit you not, it's almost like it goes out of its way to be deliberately slow at the beginning. Because this is the
Actually,
only part where you have to do this kind of nonsense.
Maybe the most confusing commercial I've ever seen, and I don't know how I feel about it to this day, is I think it was when Toyota or Subaru did a commercial with Metal Gear Solid in Psycho Mantis. You remember that?
Vaguely, actually, yes. But I
Yeah,
don't remember the
they went back
context.
and like mined all this 90s nostalgia. They did like a He-Man one and then a Power Rangers one. I never knew how to feel about it. It was like, it's Metal Gear, the Psycho Mantis meme, but it feels so toolish. I'd never figured out how I felt about it.
You know, on the plus side, it was kind of cool, though, to see, like, a mainstream acknowledgement that people could play video games, you know, and not be...
And I'm always
dreams.
happy when David Hayter gets another paycheck.
Yeah. You know, he
Carl,
got such
I've
a
gotta
raw
talk to you about
deal
the
with
smooth
Metal Gear
handling
Solid
of-
5. What a crock of shit.
What?
Metal Gear Solid 5, where they just ousted David Hayter and replaced him with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, that did happen, didn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I keep forgetting what the whole reason for that was. Something about I don't know.
Wow.
They thought Keith or Sutherland would be more accessible to people.
I don't know what it was. It was like right during that awkward transition where they like canned Kojima, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess they saw Hater as Kojima's man or something. I don't know. It was
It's-
a business decision, but
It all strikes me as some weird corporate thinking.
yeah. All right, now we're getting flashes of the future, or maybe the past. I don't know.
You can't have flashbacks to the future
Flash
Can you?
forwards?
unless time was cyclical.
You've just unraveled the greatest plot twist of this game, Nick. No, you have not. It doesn't attempt anything as bold as that.
That bet is enormous.
Right? She just kind of stole it from the parents of the household, you know? Like,
One
well,
day
it's
she
a
was-
girl, so we got to give her the nice room. Meanwhile, Alex sleeps in the attic next to all of the exposed insulation. That's why his eyes are green for some reason.
Well, you know, all that asbestos keeps the heat in, so it's the warmest room in the house.
There's another 90s trope, by the way. He's a JRPG protagonist, therefore he plays the flute. Or
Yes,
ocarina.
remember when they did that in Tactics?
And Illusion of Gaia. And Ocarina
Yeah.
of Time.
Seems to happen a lot.
Yeah. Though I guess I can't really fault this game for doing, because it did it before all those other examples we just mentioned, so...
So really, they're just aping the success of this game.
This game was wildly successful in Japan, but strangely enough, only ever got one proper sequel. I know it got like a spin-off game and then a really, really, really bad DS game that did make it to the United States and was terrible.
Well, they had to crank out more Final Fantasies.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Though 90s Final Fantasy, I'm never going to complain about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Does 15 come out this year or not?
16?
Whatever.
It's all the same. Oh, shit. I don't know. I don't know if they've actually gone so far as to say when that's releasing.
Sorry, that was completely unintentional. That was one of those
Whatever.
weird moments I revealed more than I meant to.
No, I'm actually down for 16. They're returning to the fantasy setting, and it looks intriguing enough to me.
I don't know. The only way I can really describe it is it feels like almost like this canned corporate medieval setting. Like,
It
I don't
does
know. I just
seem-
see it and I'm like, you know, okay, well, we're checking all the boxes here.
Yeah.
Like, what's popular right now? Game of Thrones, Wheel of Time.
Right. It does seem more Game of Thrones-esque in its setting than any other Final Fantasy, so. But, you know, we also have seen jack shit of the world so far, so you never know. It could be really engaging.
It could, yeah. You know,
From what I've read off the official website, there's like 6 major kingdoms all vying for power, and it's kind of an intriguing sounding world. Assuming, unlike 15, that you actually get to visit it.
I'm sure we'll visit like two of them, and like 2 more will be DLC that come out long after I finish the game and stop caring.
Yeah. At the same time, though,
It's like 12 where there's 3 empires, but we got to take their word for it that the third one exists.
Yeah,
Because
Rosaria.
we only ever see one person from
the
Rosaria.
one guy, yeah. And he claims to be someone important, but we can't call him on it, because who's there to reference this?
So much more that could have been done with that.
He's not actually the prince of anything, he's just an asshole.
Official representative, sir, this is the most wanted con man in our kingdom.
Which is funny, because he looks like a con man when you meet him.
He does. I thought it was a joke, and it wasn't. But it kind of was because it wasn't.
Yep. To this day, Final Fantasy XII is the only game that needed 2 Cids.
Who was the first Cid?
Sidolphus, the
that's
Balthier's
right.
father. And then
That's
Alcid, the one that we just referenced.
You know, when I replayed 12 again when it came out with its Ultimate Edition, like, I had no recollection of Alcid whatsoever.
Oh, really?
I did not even
He's
realize
only
that
on
was a
screen,
character.
like, for 10 minutes, if that.
But it's such a major part of the plot because it's like, oh, I'm going to go to my home country now and convince them to get the military to go to war.
Right,
Because
yeah, you're
Arcadia's
kind of, like,
weak.
brokering peace with his nation, but it just
And I
doesn't
don't
really come
remember
up
that.
again.
I just remember, like, Vaughn's party fighting the Empire single-handedly.
Yeah, pretty much. By the time you actually get to, fighting the Empire, it's really just your 6 guys.
Though, strangely enough, I forgot a lot about that game. I forgot about, like, when you get your first Deifacted Nethicite, the one judge, decides he's going to go rogue and build his own empire, and then it just blows him up.
Yes, that was
I was
cool,
like...
that was a cool bit, that airship battle.
Yeah, there was like, I don't know, it felt like the first third of the game had a really good tight narrative, and then the last kind of 2/3 to 1/3 just kind of, nah.
I kind of get the feeling that we were meant to, and don't get me wrong, I also love FF12, but I do get the feeling that we were meant to see a little bit more of Vane's arc than we actually did.
Yeah, that feels like a game that changed a lot in development. It does not feel like... The first third of the game feels like a unified vision.
Mm-hmm.
And
Poison
then, like,
Cube.
the last bits, not so much.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think where they... I'm not sure if they, like, settled on a final boss because of all of, like, the optional mega bosses that game had. But once again, that's actually something I loved about that game, so...
I liked some of the ideas they had, I just didn't necessarily like their execution.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can dig.
I remember being so confused at, like, what the point was of the lighthouse. What was it? The tower?
Oh, the Pharos Lighthouse?
Yeah, like, the point of that was to destroy the Suncrest to power up the Bahamut, which they already built but couldn't power? Or it awakened the Bahamut?
Yes, I think the Bahamut was incidental. I don't think that was ever part of the goal.
Wasn't it? Because they were like, now we've got all this power for the Bahamut, which is going to march on Dalmasca.
Well, because Vane was the only one who knew about the Bahamut, right? Because that's how he ended up commandeering it.
Well, Vane... Well, clearly Sid was in on it. Like,
Well, yeah, I think
thought
Sid
that was the
gave him that
motivation
information.
to destroy the Suncrest, but... I mean, that until, like, stop the gods who never really did anything. We kind of had to take someone else's word for it that they did.
That they were evil, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of things you kind of had to take on faith, and it wasn't like, we're going to paint a picture and let you kind of fill in the blanks. It was just kind of like, stuff wasn't explained very well.
Well,
It's like
actually,
they had these ideas for big set pieces that they started with, and then they built the story around it. That makes total sense, because they had amazing set pieces and dungeons.
Yeah, they did. The dungeons in
Yeah.
that game were phenomenal.
Yeah, that was incredibly enjoyable. You know, I'm going to guess maybe that's what it was.
Well, so one thing that I actually liked about the point that you just made, though, is that the actual, like, behind the scenes, like, conquest for the universe stuff is actually not really what your party is concerned with. Like, they just want to make sure Dalmasca is okay. So they end up killing Vana, who you're told by like a jury of his peers is a heretic, right? But it's kind of ambiguous as to whether or not he's actually doing the right thing or the wrong thing, because what he's trying to do is keep the gods from dominating the history of man, right? And so by killing him, or at least his host, you set that back, and so you're playing into the hands of the gods. It just so happens that the gods, in this instance, are kind of helping you protect your country.
And while that can be a very interesting arc, you essentially have no stakes in it whatsoever, which kind of pulls the things on that plot. But now, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought when you destroy the Sun Crest, the other gods lose their ability to interact with the physical world, thus leaving only Vana, who could impact the world directly, and then you just murder him anyways, right? So,
well, yeah, because he's still sided with Vayne,
right? So
and Vayne's a
just
fucking maniac.
Get rid of all these gods, which again seemed like an additional layer to the plot that didn't need to be there. It could have just been your guys trying to take out the Empire.
At the end of the day, Vana was just a MacGuffin that served to give Vayne power.
I feel like Vayne had enough power as the head of the world's biggest empire, though. Did he need more power?
Arguably, but at the same time, it still served to make for a more interesting final boss than just beating up Vayne.
It did. I will admit, I can forgive a lot for fighting Conan the Barbarian and the Undying, which was a horrifying last boss.
Yeah, it was. That was a crazy final boss. I really liked that one.
Probably the most unnerving of any final boss in the Final Fantasy series.
Yeah. I will also say it had my favorite final boss fight music as well.
Yes, I had noticed that quite a bit when I did my second playthrough. I had a great deal more appreciation for it.
Yeah.
And anyways, that's our stream regarding Final Fantasy XII.
Right? So this is one of those overpowered characters that joins you temporarily.
I saw he was at level 99.
Yeah, nothing's killing him. Except maybe some poison puke.
I'm trying to figure out who this guy reminds me of.
I can't help you there. He reminds me of Like, who is what his name is.
It's somewhere back in the recesses of my memory.
It's gonna come out eventually.
Usually in the shower. That's when these things do.
Yeah. I mean, you've got your pick of rugged bearded men who this guy could remind you of.
Did you ever finish reading the Witcher series?
No.
You know, Sapkowski's got another book series out now.
Oh, really? What is it?
I believe it's called The Tower of the Fools.
Interesting.
It has an interesting premise. I'd like to see him write something where he's not shackled to the Witcher.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. Some generally enjoyable characters. So
yeah.
I would be interested in reading that at some point.
Huh. Very cool. I'd have to check that out. Another nice thing about this game, again, not that it necessarily needs to be any easier than it is, but every time you level up, it fully restores your stats.
One of those games. That's always nice.
It actually is nice. I don't see it as like necessarily nerfing the difficulty as much as just like taking out some of the frustration.
His sprite adds about another 30 pounds.
You're lucky that I came along when I did.
This guy looks like he was ripped straight from G.I. Joe.
He also appears to be slightly intoxicated.
Are you lost? Or out for a picnic?
I don't know if they intended that, but that eye is
that
unsettling.
So? An adventure, you say?
Oh God, we're gonna get killed and buried out in these woods, aren't we? What was that?
90s voice acting. Voice acting has come such a long way.
Well, that's the funny thing, though. This, even though it is a 90s game, they actually completely redid the voice acting for this iteration in 2009. So
Well, I mean, the 90s up until I think about 2010 on is
Okay.
about like,
I'll give you that.
you know,
I will give you that.
I don't think it's really started to get decent until I think the last 5 years, you know?
No, yeah, production values have gone up, and a nice side effect of that is, yeah, voice acting quality is drastically improved. In fact, I seem to
anybody
remember,
can do it now.
I seem to remember Final Fantasy XII being one of the first games that I played where I thought, boy, this voice acting is legitimately decent. You know, I mean, like these sound like characters delivering their lines instead of, you know, interns being paid to read this script.
I don't know. Interns can give a pretty decent performance.
If you starve them enough, yeah. You dangle that free Subway gift card in front of them, they'll churn out some Shakespearean performances.
Maybe instead of being unpaid interns, one of you gets hired in.
Right. Hey, speaking of great voice acting, did you ever play the Legacy of Kain series?
I didn't. I know you recommended that.
Yeah.
I looked into it, and it felt a little Devil May Cry-ish, which just isn't
No.
typically my play style.
Yeah.
It sounds interesting, but it's just one of those things like, I'm gonna put this somewhere on my ladder of priorities. Not very high, but
It's
somewhere where I'm cognizant of it.
It's definitely not Devil May Cry-ish. The
Hack and
action...
slashy.
What's that?
Hack and slashy.
No. The action takes a major backseat to exploration and puzzle solving. It's basically an action
Oh
dungeon
God,
crawler.
he's poisoned them all.
Yeah, right. Oh God, they're all dead. Now I'm going to eat these children. Oh God. Oh, he just left. Where's my wallet?
That dream.
Son of a bitch.
Nell's got one of those problematic faces where he's an animal, but it looks too human.
Yeah, just a little bit.
They had the same issue with Iggy from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like, dogs shouldn't have human-like faces.
No, they should not. Let's see here. Goblins.
Do different colored chests indicate different colored contents?
Yes, sometimes some of them you need a key for.
Oh, okay.
That's really
one of those
it.
deals.
So if you can't tell, a lot of the like cut and dry battles in this game are just spam sword dance until you win. Especially as you start to get more MP.
Terranigma kind of has the same problem.
Yeah. It's the
Run,
first ability your
jump,
main character
slash,
learns.
repeat.
Uh-huh. It's the first ability your main character learns, but it never really stops being useful.
I always hate when like you get a game and you find that there's just like one particularly game-breaking move you can do over and over, and then you just never learn how to do the rest of the game. Like you never bother to learn the mechanics because this is working just fine for
Yeah,
me.
this'll do nicely.
Like the staff from Quest 64.
Yep. But, like, one of the most in-depth magic creation systems ever, and don't really bother with it because you got a staff. You can beat the final boss to death with your whipping stick.
It takes a little bit, but it's doable.
You know, but not as much as actually trying to fight him with magic. Yeah, a lot.
That was one of those weird things, wasn't it? It was like, yeah, you're meant to just use magic because you're a magician, but magic kind of blows.
Yeah, right. So just run up to the top of this hill and beat the fuck out of him. that'll do.
I'm assuming this isn't the entire world map.
No, not even close.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming that is the world map.
Yeah. Port town of Saith. Fish, you say?
I like that this is one of those games where everybody has an idle animation where they're just kind of bouncing up and down.
Yeah, I know, they all really have to pee.
Yeah, yep.
But none of them are going to be the one to go inside and use the public restroom.
The Paper Mario games, I think, had the most pronounced example of that. Why are you bouncing?
personally was always crap. What character was? There's a character in Ocarina of Time that is quite literally just thrusting his pelvis into midair, and I can't remember who it is. Crap. Was it a shopkeeper?
I don't remember who this is.
Damn it. Oh, like I can see him in my head.
Is it the windmill guy?
No, because he's got the music box that he's playing, so you can't really see his pelvis. There's one that's just literally fucking just dry humping the air. And what's really funny is you encounter him as young Link, so you're like eye level with his peen. And it's like, well, why is this his idle animation? It's like he's always really, really horny, you know?
Speaking of things we should play on this channel, since you and Max did Ocarina of Time, did you ever complete it?
No, that's still an ongoing one.
You and I should play Master
Majora?
Quest.
Oh, Master Quest, okay.
Yeah, that was an official remix
Yes.
of Ocarina of Time.
It was kind of a unique project from Nintendo because literally, like, they didn't create any new assets for it. They just rearranged them and made it more challenging.
We did, which would have been lazy by today's standards, but back then, hell yeah, a new way to go through an old game that I love. That sounds amazing.
It's almost like a professional ROM hack sort of thing, you know?
Yes, that is the best way to put that.
Yeah, interesting. Let's see. Oh, I got plenty of money at least.
Oh, the currency in this world is Red Sox, apparently.
Red Sox, that's right. Or is that the White Sox logo? I can't tell.
Is that what it is? I'm not a big sports guy.
Go sports.
Kinky yet comfy. What?
Leather, yeah, like I said, leather clothes.
You know, all chaps are assless. Just throwing that out there.
Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
Huh. Guess I don't know a whole lot about chaps.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to be wearing something under them, you know, but...
Oh, that's why I keep getting kicked out of those cowboy bars.
The only cowboy bars that I know of that have assless chat, never mind.
No wonder they hate me so much at Dexter's Rodeo. Nope, gotta equip Ramus, Chris. Just not gonna do anything useful on his own.
Stew pot lid.
He does have a shield, yeah, that's right.
Right up there with Breath of the Wild. They also had a pot lid as a shield.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones you get.
I've never played a game so much in my life.
Oh, really?
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, no, I know. I sympathize with you. It is definitely not my favorite Zelda, but I overall enjoy. I certainly didn't hate it. It's just like
150 hours of me playing it through clenched teeth. When's this fucking game over? When's this fucking game over?
50 hours.
So fucking sick of these dungeons.
Really? Because I kept thinking to myself, where are the real dungeons? Like
Oh,
those
God, and I played it
shrines.
to
The shrines
completion.
didn't do it for me.
Thank God for Genshin Impact to finally scratch that itch 5 years later.
The massive open world.
Yes. Oh my goodness. What a nice game that I'm still playing 3 months on.
You know, I keep hearing nothing but good things about that, and interestingly enough, I could download it for free on my mobile phone right now if I wanted to.
Or your PS4, yeah.
Oh, is it free on
fine.
PS4 as well?
Yeah, it's all free.
Huh, no shit.
It's a
I
fun
know
little
there's
game.
stuff that you can pay for, but it doesn't demand it of you, which is nice.
You can get a great deal of content out of it for very little to no pay whatsoever.
Huh. I may have to give that a check out. My worry is that I'm going to get sucked in and not play any of the other, like, 20 projects I'm still working on.
It's a good game to, like, get yourself up to, like, adventure rank 20 and then just put 30 minutes a day into it casually to do the daily quests.
Oh, so
and then-
FF14. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, FF14. But unfortunately, there was just so much amazing content that I didn't know how to restrain myself, and eventually had to quit cold turkey.
Good stuff.
I love that 14 is still a darling of the internet right now.
Yes, it is.
It's
it
still
is-
considered the best MMO out there on the market.
It is the one game that had like the worst possible start you could have had, but like completely redeemed. Like by the time you and I played it, it had completely redeemed itself. Now it's just out to make everybody happy and forget about COVID, you know?
Well, the first iteration of the game was so bad
Yes.
they had to blow it up,
They nuked
and they
it,
made
yeah.
blowing up the game
Literally.
canon.
They literally had Bahamut come and nuke it.
Yeah, I mean, the opening cinematic of A Realm Reborn is Final Fantasy XIV just literally being blown up. It's all part of the story, which
Yeah, they
is
made it
such a cool idea.
Yeah, that is a cool idea.
That game has been out for 7 years, and they didn't have to throw freaking panda bears in it. So.
No. Are we talking about World of Warcraft?
Yep. Like,
Oh.
once you're around long enough, you just start doing dumb stuff.
That was one that I never got into as well. I know we have it to thank for like the modern renaissance of the MMO, but at the same time, I just could never find the time or the patience.
Interestingly, World of Warcraft, the MMO, is actually canonically World of Warcraft 3, because there were 2 games that came out
Yes.
prior to it that were RTSs.
Yes, correct.
And I think, don't quote me on this, I think they were inspired by the Dune RTS.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dune was the precipitator of a lot of things. I know particularly Command & Conquer was directly lifted from it.
Uh-huh. All right, I think we're good to go here. Nick, I'm going to call it next time on Play the Hits. We're going to go explore the forest up here to get the sea chart to finally make it into the mainland. The old Hags Forest.
We're leaving little Tutorial Island and making our way out into the larger world.
Yep, we're leaving Pittsburgh. Or I guess it's just Berg.
Oh god, it was just full of bees!
It's just full of, why was this treasure chest just full of bees?
How did this happen? Why did this happen?
Sweet, merciful. Okay, I guess
Yeah,
we're
I
doing
like
one more
the-
battle before the end of the episode. Nick,
Well,
what are
you didn't know
your
that
final
box is gonna be
thoughts for this evening?
You didn't know that box would be full of bees.
I had no clue.
I always like when a JRPG like has that thing where like if you get a monster in a box, usually the treasure's worth it.
Yeah, right?
And
No,
then
this
sometimes
one,
it's just a waste.
this one just bees. Boy,
Just
they
bees
really
for the
hate
sake
her.
of bees. Well, they gotta take out the healer first.
Yeah, they are playing it smart for a box full of bees.
Hey, they got into the box. They knew what they were doing.
Put these guys
Well.
in charge of the final dungeon, you know?
Not well enough, apparently.
Also, in this version of the game, anytime you finish the battle with a status effect, Null just takes it away.
I noticed that. I wasn't sure if it was a random thing or not.
It's not something I'm going to complain about. So, Nick, next time on Play the Hits, we're going to find the old hag and we're going to get the sea chart.
Already level 9.
Yep. Like I
Like
said, the game
gangbusters.
does move fast. This will not be a overly long playthrough. It won't be short, but it won't be like 20 episodes.
Or JRPGs never are, but this is reasonable.
Yep. All right, we'll see you next time, buddy.
Till then. That's the best I got.